Well, how about this? It just sounds like they're on Tinder.
Say, what if I used my third wish to set you free?
Third wish to set you free. Oh, I am not capable of being set free.
No, it's so sad. I accidentally made myself sad about it. Oh, folks, welcome.
I hate this
That's
so
gonna be a
much.
special segment we'll release separate. Werewolf Radar makes ourselves sad with Chat PT.
Yeah, Werewolf Radar goads the basilisk. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl, and I'm afraid of AI.
I'm Nate Balding, and I'm afraid of what they might make me feel.
I am Roger Norquist, and one time when I was around 10 or 12, I saw a USA movie where the premise was a woman was lonely and she met herself a companion robot, and then she turned up the sensuality on the robot, and then it started to make love to her, and I am okay with AI.
Oh,
Okay.
Silk Stockings,
In a sexual way.
Season 2, Episode 14.
I think that might have been a show called Perversions of Science that was on HBO briefly.
No, I didn't have it. This was a shit you not, a 90-minute USA movie.
Oh, god damn. Perversions of Science was like if Black Mirror had tits in it, and then also George Costanza was there.
I do know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. He had sex with a robot that he was supposed to be testing, and then as a result, his boss cut his bottom half of his body off and plugged him into like a spaceship. It wasn't a very good show. No,
back in the 90s, USA was like Lifetime now, but like crazy to where like how Lifetime has a lot of like, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
The man you're sleeping with is actually a crazy stalker.
Mm-hmm.
But USA did crazy stalker that's actually a robot that you purchased.
Yeah, nice. They cranked it up. They knew what they were doing. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Undergourds. This ripe, succulent, deep blue fruit was grown deep beneath the earth, carefully tended by worm-headed supplicants to feed to their unseen god. Note, the worm people will stop at nothing to retrieve the gourds, and that may come up, but it's worth it. It's worth it in soups, it's worth it on salads, and it's worth it just eaten alone in the dark. Undergourds from Monstroco. Protect them at all costs. May cause night vision.
Protect them at all cost. Now you have a reason for your guns, Americans.
They're so good. They're so good. They vibrate, they glow in the dark, and they make me see colors.
I'm not going to give them back.
The Undergourd, folks.
Can I?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of gourds, do you mind if I go first?
Go first.
Take the speaking gourd. Skull.
But I have a two-part segment when it's my turn. I got a short little paranormal.
Mine's very short.
Well, let's go measure how short we are, Jordan, in a short measuring contest.
I'll go next, and you close it out with your.
I like
segment. It. Okay.
I also have Bolton Ghost first count of stories. Ooh. I got so much. I'm excited. Sorry.
Very cool. Take the skull, Nate.
I shall. And I shall drink from it and spit back into one of its eyes, and then suck it back out from the other eye.
This is the ritual. This is how every podcast works, you guys. Don't act surprised.
From your bar stools to your small mom and pop podcast, we all drink from the skull's eyes.
Ricky Gervais has been doing this for decades.
And I shall reveal to you the article 13 Cursed Foods and Food-Related Superstitions.
Ooh,
from bad
love
apples
it.
to spilling the tea.
I love it.
We were just talking about the
Easter.
maggot cheese.
Yeah.
That's a cursed food.
It's cursed as fuck.
it's sort of a foodish holiday.
Yeah, sure.
Not so much for people doing Passover or Ramadan.
I mean, Passover is pretty food. You got those 6 foods I can't think of. I know matzah is one of them. Roasted chicken. 4 others.
Well, I mean, you could eat anything overnight.
Oof.
Just not in the day.
I'm not
Gefilte fish.
I'm not a religious fella. Bit of a devout agnostic,
Agist, as you said.
Which is a bit like being a brave coward. But boy, those Catholics on Easter. Oh, the ham. Oh, the mac salad, deviled eggs.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, little cakes. Just eggs in general. And it's so funny because it's all a fucking like a holdover from like spring equinox festivals. Like we're eating the spring ham, we're eating the new eggs of the chickens, bunnies, etc.
We're praying to a foreign fertility god.
Yes.
You can't take our holiday away from us. It's ours.
Skull god, blood for the blood throne. I think I got that backwards.
No, the blood throne still needs blood. You're right.
Correct. So the article starts, of course, with Federico Fellini. Once famously said that life is a combination of magic and pasta.
My man.
And that's how the beginning
solid.
of my big fat Italian wedding starts.
Honestly, though, it does feel like that sometimes. Sometimes you just feel like you go out in the world and deal with a bunch of bullshit, and finally you get to go home and eat pasta.
That was my yesterday, if we're being honest.
Those are the 2 settings. Fuck this and time for pasta.
So number 1 in the superstitions, whatever you do, don't drop the tortilla.
Oh, okay.
Tortillas are super popular in Mexico, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You might even say they're a national treasure. So naturally, there are quite a few tortilla-related superstitions going around, but one of them will definitely send shivers down your spine. Apparently, dropping your tortilla on the ground is very bad juju. If you let yours slip from your fingers, be prepared for unwelcome guests to visit. In fact, your in-laws.
But 5-second rule, Nate.
Well, they still show up in 5 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Another superstition claims that if a tortilla puffs up in the pan as you're cooking it, then you're ready to marry. And just to rub it home, another superstition says that if your tortilla does not puff up, you're going to live with your parents forever.
So what you're saying is that tortillas for years have been yelling at me that I'm ready to get married.
Exactly. They should sort of puff up.
Just like my mom.
Right.
God, I saw a recipe yesterday for making tortillas. I'm gonna do that shit.
I like a good flatbread, which I consider tortillas.
Totally.
Are they? They're a flatbread, right?
I think they're
flatbread,
kind of in that family. It's a bready thing that's flat. But man, I just watched this video. This kid making them at home, and then he like compares it to a store-bought flour tortilla specifically, which I'm sort of against. But unless you make them there, and God, it looked incredible. I'll send it to you guys. Anyway.
Yeah. When I was in, I think, junior high, I was in a home ec class, and the only thing I learned from there was making tortillas.
Nice.
And then I sewed a small animal together, not an actual animal, like a stuffed animal.
I got high for markers in home ec.
You didn't take like half a rat and half a pigeon and sew them together?
No.
I met a pigeon rat.
Okay.
I did not do a Fiji mermaid.
I've done an American Dad and a Simpsons reference in this episode so far. Let's see if we can hit the trifecta.
Number 2, eat grapes on New Year's Eve.
I did know this one.
You
Are
know
you
how
not
in movies,
supposed to?
you know
are.
how in movies everyone is quick to share a kiss as the clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve? Well, in Spain and other parts of Latin America, people don't have time for that because they're all busy stuffing themselves with grapes.
Yeah. Stuffing themselves.
Well, that might sound weird. There's a common superstition that eating 12 grapes on New Year's will keep bad luck away for the coming year. So, naturally, at 12 o'clock on New Year's Eve, you chuck down 12 grapes, and then you're good for a whole year.
Yeah, I knew about that one. You're supposed to eat the 12 grapes. Is it, are black-eyed peas in there too?
They're everywhere. They still tour.
I think so, yeah.
That's a thing that my mom swears by. She says black-eyed peas with a little, like, some kind of green mix in it because the green is supposed to represent money.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds, yeah. I mean, why not?
Fuck yeah. Now I'm hungry for that. Some ham hock. Oh,
well, you're about to get hungrier.
damn it.
Because number 3.
Now I want 12 grapes.
What if I eat more than 12?
Well,
then it goes on, I guess, for the next year.
I think something bad would happen. Why you got a hot dog? Just eat the 12 grapes.
That's what I fear. If I eat 24 apes, do I lose everything?
Oh, they might go backwards, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like once you hit 12?
I think you said 24 apes. This is a lot of fun.
What happens if I eat 24 apes, Nate? Does the list have that?
If you eat 24 apes, you, I think, technically are some sort of weird eco-terrorist.
Still at large. Put the apes on a high shelf, local zoos. Okay. God damn it.
Number 3, this is something that we're very familiar with. Garlic keeps vampires at bay. And I'm not going to go into what the article says because it's all just pretty obvious shit. However, it does end up with a thing that says, either way, make sure you give Mujde a try, a commonly loved Romanian sauce derived from crushed garlics, cloves, salt water, sunflower oil, and sour cream, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds phenomenal. Well, there's your recipe, Pingos. Go out making it.
I saw something fucked up yesterday. This guy.
It's Mujdei, by the way.
Mugde. This guy took a bunch of dandelion heads and he soaked them in water for like 10 minutes to get all bugs out. And then he put them in a colander and let them dry for a little while. And then he dusted them with flour and like an egg batter and deep fried them into a patty.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Have you had it?
No, but I've had like other sunflower based things.
No, dandelion.
Or dandelion based things.
Right. I thought he was going to make wine out of them, but it was just a fucking dandelion burger. It was crazy.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Chow
Is
down. Let me know how it is.
In a nutrient?
I mean,
you can also do some stuff with tulips.
Yeah, you can do lots of stuff with tulips.
You do whatever you want with tulips.
Tulips are good to go.
With tulips, you can speak into your podcast.
All right, bring me the next cursed food, please.
All right, this is witches sailing on eggshells.
Oh.
There are various superstitions and myths about eggs out there, some dating back to as early as the 1600s. During this time in Ireland, it was not unusual for people to smash the bottom of an eggshell after eating an egg. This would, of course, prevent witches from using the shells to sail the seas and find the eater of the egg. The peculiar superstition was noted in Reginald Scott's Discovery of Witchcraft, which I assume we're all familiar with, published in 1584. Here he writes that witches, quote, can go in and out at anger holes and sail in an eggshell, a cockle, or mussel shell through and under the tempestuous seas.
Whoa. That tracks, actually.
Mm-hmm. They shrink themselves down, enter another dimension, and then bingo, bango, they're in your nose.
They slip through the keyhole, right?
Yeah.
They can fly right through as long as they're greased up.
Yeah.
I'm a greased up monster.
Though it might sound far-fetched, Irish immigrants sailing to America in the 1800s took this warning very seriously to keep mean witches at bay. To this day, you will find sailors and ship crews crushing their eggshells after a meal, so make sure you follow their lead, or else you might be blamed for bringing witches aboard.
You didn't crush your egg, boy.
Could you imagine? Man, the stuff that people have been killed for in the past is just
String them up. String them up.
Crush his egg. He's let witches free on the boat. We need him. He works the front of the boat. No. We'll find another way.
Sir, this is a cruise. We can't be stringing up everyone who doesn't.
It's 1992.
Oh, God. A cruise that has a hanging station?
Good Lord.
I didn't notice it until we started hanging people who didn't crush their egg bottoms.
Sir, please, the trailer for Jurassic Park just dropped. Everybody wants to see it. Please don't make this another death cruise. We've all got something to live for.
Oh my, that one broke me. I love thinking about old sailor superstitions and moving them onto a cruise boat.
A captain at the front stopping every woman who tries to get on the boat. Oh, no farther, ma'am. I'm afraid it's bad luck to have a woman on board the vessel. Me and my husband paid thousands of dollars for this. All right, well, he can still come, I suppose, but...
Do you have a son, maybe?
Give him to me. I'll make a man of him at sea.
Oh, these pipes are clean.
Cabin Boy. Go watch it, everybody.
This one's sort of a double in that they mention other egg-related superstitions. If you get a double yolk egg, it's a sign of fertility and possibly pregnancy, or possibly a sign that someone's about to get married.
Okay, so pretty much good stuff, though. Good good vibes.
Well, unless you're into Norse mythology,
no.
In which case a double egg yolk is a bad omen and a warning that a death is about to take place in the family.
Okay, well, what if both of those people are in the same room when the egg gets cracked? Hooray!
There's no way to tell.
No!
It's, well, not to get too real, but it's probably a miscarriage.
Okay, well, moving on.
Also, real talk. Can chickens have twins?
I don't think so. Not out of the same egg, right?
No, one in about 1,000 eggs contains 2 yolks. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna Google can chickens have twins?
Get to the bottom of it, Jordan. Go on, Nate. Bring us more cursed foods.
All right.
Yes, they can.
One. This is about keeping the devil away from your bread.
Okay. That guy constantly after the bread.
One of the most well-known superstitions regarding bread lies in its bubbles. It's normal to cut a freshly baked loaf of bread and find air bubbles in it. If you've made bread, that happens.
Good sourdough.
Yeah. But if you notice a large hole in the middle, then that's a bad omen, and it means someone you love will die.
I mean,
I thought it meant the baker's stealing bread from me.
why can it never be someone I hate? Like, there's never a curse that's like one of your enemies will die, and then you get it, and you're like, yes.
I think it's maybe just someone you know will die. You know your enemies. So I think it's in that cast, but still, it's not a direct, like, your enemy will die.
Yeah, sure.
This is a fun one. Another
Power bread kill enemy.
Another well-known and feared superstition about bread is that the devil likes to sit on it and prevent it from rising as it bakes.
Hey, get the hell off of that. What are you doing in there?
The devil's all like, the Torah says no levied bread. This can't rise. He's trying to help.
Yeah,
Well,
look.
To keep the mischievous devil off of your bread, you cut a cross into the top of the loaf before putting it in the oven.
Aha.
However, according to medieval folklore, you should never place a loaf of bread upside down on your counter or your plate.
I wasn't gonna.
Doing so can trigger very bad juju.
Because of the cross, huh?
Yeah. It can be a foreshadowing of a shipwreck.
Fuck.
Okay.
Or can even be an invitation to bring evil forces into your home.
I'm so hungry. I just want to eat it. No, wait. Before that, we have all of these fucking steps.
This superstition dates back to the Middle Ages when bakers would set aside a loaf of bread for busy executioners and place it upside down to distinguish this bread from the rest. Customers then knew never to touch the bread of the executioner, as they feared that would bring bad luck on their family.
The busy executioner. There were so many
Yes.
executioners. What was this? The first French Revolution?
Predates that, I think, by a couple hundred years.
Europe was a hell.
And still is.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment.
You know, they don't even have pork rinds. They don't even eat the seared flesh of the pig.
They have all this socialized medicine care and not even pork
Unbelievable.
rinds to use it on.
Actually, that's not even true. I think they call them pig scratchings, and you can get a version of them with hair. Yeah,
So they're
a kind
more
of hell.
They're more experienced than us.
Yeah.
Well, they have that maggot cheese.
Yeah, well.
Number 6, never cut your noodles. This is primarily a Chinese thing. Longevity is taken very seriously in Chinese culture. Taoist philosophy emphasizes the fact that without life, there is no meaning, and consequently, having a long, prosperous life is the ultimate goal. There's even a Chinese god of longevity named Shouxin, which means star of longevity. And this is so the food you eat should not be cut because that will shorten your life.
I agree with that. I like a long noodle, but now I like it even more.
Love a long noodle. Keep them coming. Holy moly. Have you guys been to Xi'an Famous Foods?
But no, I should. It's in Colorado, right?
If y'all live
redacted.
If y'all live in Brooklyn, where I'm not, Xi'an Famous Foods, it's incredible. XI, AN, and they do like hand ripped noodles, and it's all like oxtail and fucking Szechuan peppers and shit. It's incredible.
Fucking great,
dude. It's so good. I'm so hungry.
Order us some. Postmate us some.
I don't care. I'll
Yeah,
eat an upside down loaf. I don't care.
I'm the executioner now.
This one's got the devil's ass print in it. I don't care.
Bring on the executioner. Number 7, salt over your left shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all know that you spill it, you got to throw it over the left shoulder.
Right. That's you're throwing him in the devil's eyes, right?
Yeah.
Because he's peeking over your shoulder. He's like, was that spilled salt I heard?
Oh, naughty boy.
My favorite.
Supposedly it originates with Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, and you're throwing it at the bad angel or the devil.
Ah, I see.
Still in his eyes, though. We're not wrong.
Yeah. It's got to be in the eyes. Tossing the rice to wish luck upon a newlywed couple. In Celtic times, throwing rice at newlyweds was thought to bring wealth, luck, and fertility to new couples. It was not about the rice, though. Different cultures used different grains to wish luck upon the bride and the groom. For instance, ancient Romans used wheat. Italians used candies or nuts.
Nice. I was going to say, there's got to be some
good.
person throwing nuts at someone, right?
Pelted in the head with a Mars bar. Good luck.
And in Eastern India, it's common to throw flower petals.
Okay.
No, that's actually nice and pleasant.
Right.
Yeah. The rice toss tradition has continued well into modern times, even though nowadays guests are more likely to use confetti or not toss anything at all.
I throw knives.
Right.
Usually the toss takes place after the wedding ceremony. As guests line up outside the church or chapel to congratulate the new couple. Why don't people use rice anymore?
Hit us with it.
A while back, concerns started to spread that the raw rice could be harmful to birds,
Right.
which could fly in and pick up any leftover rice grains to eat. The theory apparently remains up for debate. However, most couples prefer to go with the eco-friendly route and just use fucking flower petals.
Yeah.
You already had them.
They're nice. Yeah. They're pleasant. They smell.
Now, did you say they're knives?
They're knives.
They're knives. They're pleasant.
Could you imagine going to a circus wedding and they are throwing knives and the bride and groom are just juggling them back?
Them. And they also smell nice. They're like wedding knives that have been scented. Yeah.
Special wedding knives.
I love it.
I'm gonna skip apples.
Oh, okay.
To jump to number 10, take financial advice from the bubbles in your coffee.
Nice. What stocks do I buy? Coffee.
This also says, we've all probably tried to read our futures in coffee grounds at some point in our lives.
All the time.
Have we?
Every morning, Nate, I look at my coffee grounds and I go, is today the day?
In Finnish folklore, coffee bubbles coming towards you could signify that money and wealth will unexpectedly come into your life. However, if the bubbles look like they're moving away from you, then it might be a sign that you're about to lose money. Fully dependent on how you're looking at the bubbles in your coffee.
From the north.
Then away from you, I'm sorry.
Oh no. My fortune.
Now, I know about people read the bubbles in their beer sometimes. When I was a kid, my grandma used to read tea leaves, and it was a very secretive thing. She didn't want us around when it was happening. It was very strange.
Yeah.
We will actually be getting to tea leaves momentarily.
Okay.
However, before that, Icelandic superstitions warn you to never drink your coffee while it's hot. Otherwise, you might turn ugly.
Well, look.
Icelandic people believe
Joke's on
drinking
you.
iced coffee is your best bet if you want to become more attractive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't find the Icelandic people attractive.
What?
Hot take. The only hot one is
What?
Bjork.
What? There are hot people all over the world.
Not Icelandic. Bam. Come at me, Iceland.
And if you didn't see,
At PigmanX on Twitter.
if you haven't seen if you look to your left, look to your right, if there's no hot Icelandic people, it's you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Not to be a creep about it, but hard disagree.
So here we come to tea. When it comes to tea, the rituals and traditions are even more important. For one, you should never put milk in your tea before sugar unless you want to make French people angry.
As a culture, they all get hit slightly and annoyed.
Yeah, I don't fucking care about that. They seem pretty angry already. I put the milk and the sugar in first in the cup, and then I pour the coffee over it, so it kind of mixes the whole thing up.
So you should also never allow multiple people to pour the tea, as that brings bad luck.
But sometimes tea's a 3-man job.
This is too much tea. I heard that you're supposed to pour the tea for someone else, that it's bad luck to pour your own tea.
But I think having two people, like someone start and then another person finish.
Somebody else finishes it. That does feel like bad luck.
Should just be one guy. Or woman. I mean, whoever.
I mean,
or
hot
steam-powered tea robot.
This is not a
T-Bot
werewolf radar.
3000.
This is not a werewolf radar opinion, but Roger Norquist does not think women can pour tea properly.
Good Lord, Roger, with the hot takes today.
Going mad.
Icelandic women are going to be all over your Twitter. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe this is Roger's plan. He's secretly like Icelandic women are the top for him, and then he wants some tea, and he's trying to be like, I don't think you can do it.
I'm looking for an angry Icelandic tea-loving woman. And I think I found out how to find one.
Got to put that rage bait out there. That's how TikTok works.
God, if this is the viral clip of us on TikTok, I would laugh. I go,
no.
There's apparently also a common belief in England that if 2 spoons are accidentally placed in the same teacup or on the same saucer, the drinker of said tea will give birth to twins or marry twice.
I can see that being a rude thing as well, being cursed with 2 children or 2 husbands or 2 wives or both.
Number 11.
Legion of husbands and wives.
There's a Ugandan superstition where it's keep the lights on when you eat.
Okay. So you don't accidentally eat a salt shaker. I've done that.
Yeah. It seems pretty natural to.
I mean, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I'm imagining eating in the dark, and that's unwholesome at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, I think it probably has to do with power outages.
Sure. I also I think if you're eating and it's completely dark, you're officially feeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because feeding and eating is taking active, I think, action on what you are eating. While feeding, you're eating anything. And in the dark, you could be eating anything. You don't know.
Doesn't matter. It's sustenance.
You ate a bug.
Yeah.
You thought you were eating a chicken nugget, but that was a bug.
You thought you were eating a delicious meatball hoagie, but really you were just lapping the blood from the ear of an ox.
Anyway, we're up to number 12.
Number
and this,
12.
I think, is my favorite one. When in Rwanda, stick to orange Fanta.
They
Okay.
get it.
It's the best one. Although that pineapple Fanta's pretty good.
What could be? If you've not had the peach,
There's peach
My God,
Fanta?
love peach Fanta.
Rwanda. I apologize. I can't do it.
It's mostly available in Japan, but you can get it every once in a while around
All
here.
right,
Googling
Werewolf
it right
Radar
now.
fortunes being spent.
Look at this shit.
It's so good. What could be more refreshing during summer than a nice, cool bottle of classic Fanta? That's definitely one of our guilty pleasures when it comes to sugary drinks. However, if you're traveling to Rwanda, you'll need to be careful about which Fanta flavor you pick when you're out. Apparently, orange Fanta is considered one of the purest and most chaste Fanta flavors in Rwanda. And it's the only flavor virgins should drink.
Okay, now we're getting into some religious. This is from the Church of Fanta.
If you're unmarried and in a local bar, ordering anything other than orange Fanta might get you some disconcerting glances.
Wow.
It's best to stick to orange Fanta if you want to make a good impression.
Fanta
Because
shaming.
Chastity is still a pretty big deal in many African countries,
Wow.
especially for young unmarried women.
Sure. So if you go in and you're like, let me get that pineapple Fanta, they're gonna be like,
they
whore!
know that you're up for some weird shit.
Unbelievable. They start pelting you with grape Fanta. That's awful.
Which is part of the fetish now. You think it's like a rude thing, but that's all part of this games we play.
I mean, like, orange Fanta is great,
Agreed.
but not when it's like
I love an orange Fanta, but
not when
I've
you're
had
being
all the other
forced to
flavors
drink it
also.
because of sex shame. That is a bitter Fanta indeed. I can't get over this peach Fanta now. I fucking need this shit.
Dude,
There's so many flavors.
I cannot tell you how enjoyable it is.
Dude, I got dragon fruit Fanta over here.
Oh, yeah, no, but you can get that at 7-Eleven.
I assume once
Peach you have to like go looking for.
I assume once a young woman is married in Rwanda, she can go nuts on all these other flavors, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that
you marry
that
into
alone,
the Fanta family.
that alone is a reason to get married. You know how people get married for like tax purposes?
Yes.
I'm getting married for Fanta choice purposes.
Not a bad choice.
I want grape once a month. Let's do this. Anyway, those are 13 cursed foods, some of them less cursed than others.
Mamma mia. Well, there you have it. Watch out for those food etiquette rules. I'm going to go ahead and I will hold the skull for a moment. I will gaze into it. I will whisper next week into its mouth, and I will pass it on to Roger.
I went way over again, didn't I?
That's okay. We needed to know. This is important shit, especially on a food-based holiday. And I'm going to pass it directly to Roger, and I'll do my, I won't even tell you guys what my segment was because frankly, I didn't do enough research on it, which this is good.
Come back next week for a well-researched segment from Jordan.
Well, hey, let's not go nuts. Okay.
All right. So I
it's the sides from the pilot he's working on.
I take out a little flask from my jacket and I pour my own liquid into the skull.
Oh.
And the room begins to smell like pitch.
Okay.
And then I drink the sludginess.
Oh God, he's drinking the black blood of the Kali Ma.
And Cheesebot found this on Twitter. And I wanted to go over quickly before I take us to the wonderful place of Bolton, UK for some firsthand accounts of ghosts.
Ooh, cool.
or some are second-hand accounts. Anyway, some ghost encounters of Bolton. But I have for you astrology heads.
Mm-hmm. Astrologers?
The signs as ghosts. So
All right.
Aries, here's what type of ghost you are. You hide in closets and scream demonically at night.
Oh.
Tauruses, you're
Mhm.
going to not really do much, usually found in inanimate objects. Kind of your Robert the Doll situation, I
Right.
think.
Okay, sure. Or any number of eBay dolls.
Geminis.
So this is not about like what they appear to be, because I would have thought the Taurus ghost would be something that like busts through the room and messes shit up.
No, you're thinking of the bull ghost.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Geminis.
That's me.
You knock over shit, scrape nails against the walls, and smash glass. You're a poltergeist of a ghost.
A half
All
truth.
right, so I was like 1 month off.
Cancers, you comfort small children, protect their loved ones, acts as a guardian angel.
What the hell?
I feel like Cancer has never comforted a small child.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty unhappy about it.
I'm more likely to comfort a small child than to whip a glass at a wall.
The person who posted this was Honey Badger Panda.
That explains it.
Okay, well.
So Leos terrorize crowds, but has a soft spot for children.
Just like lions.
Virgos, which my brother is, rearranges everything, frequently haunts the same place. Libras show up in mirrors and leave clues on where to find their corpse.
Okay.
Well, that's me, so I'll be seeing you.
Thank God. Thank God.
So Scorpios seek revenge and haunt people that did them wrong.
Just like that movie, The Scorpion King.
This one's my favorite. Sagittarius's set shit on fire.
Okay, come on.
Capricorn summon Lucifer in people's houses.
All right, that rules.
I'm an Aquarius, and Aquarii possess people.
Okay.
Pisces, little girl ghosts, often play with little kids and become their best friend. Can be good or bad.
Okay, all Pisces are little girl ghosts.
Yep. Sorry, everyone. That's just what happened.
Or congratulations, everyone.
Now, let's go into my real segment. So a while ago, we asked what your hometown was. We'll do some research.
That was your decoy segment.
That was my decoy segment. I just thought it was fun.
Sure.
So a little while ago, we hit up the Twitter sphere and said, what's your hometown? We'll do research. And a bunch of y'all hit us up. And thank you for doing so. And one of y'all, I lost the page where I had everything because oopsie doozies. Nikki Sticks on Twitter hit us up saying Bolton, UK. And I have some firsthand or ghost encounters at Smith Hills Hall. The
I bet
first
they
one
call it
is
Smithles.
why?
Probably.
Just because that feels like a British thing to do.
Gross. Your version of the language is weird.
Smithix.
It's called
Smithles.
aluminum.
Aluminium.
Yeah. Ghost in the house. Unsurprisingly, considering its long history, over the years there have been many spooky sightings around the Smithell Hall. Smittle Hall?
It's probably the Smittle hole at this point.
The hall was passed on to the Barton family in 1485 and was home to them for almost 200 years. During the War of the Roses, John Barton fought and died at the Battle of St. Albans. The Great Hall is reputed in the Great Hall, a reputed psychic has reported seeing a strange-looking man and a woman, both of whom appear to be in 15th century dress. The man appeared to be strong, while the woman seemed to be distressed.
Well, that sounds like a pairing during a war.
For sure, George Marsh in the green room following his trial, and this is all from boltonlambs.co.uk. George Marsh and the green room. Following his trial as a Protestant during the reign of the devoted Catholic Queen Mary Tudor, Bolton farmer George Marsh was brought before Robert Barton, owner of the estate, in the hall's green room. George was burned at the stake in 1555. April. Oh, we're coming upon the anniversary.
This is one of the dumbest wars you could die in.
And he chose to die in it. A visitor has related that on a visit to Smiddles as a child, he noticed a man on top of the stairs to the green room. As a result, when the museum attendee announced to the visitor's family that it was locking up time, the visitor mentioned that there was a man upstairs.
But there's a man up there.
To his amazement, the attendant explained to the family that the family were the only visitors left in the hall.
Ooh.
To this day, the visitor is convinced that the only explanation that the man upstairs was George Marsh.
Yeah.
That room that he was next to was his room, the green room. So that's some of Smiddle Hill.
Sure.
And now I have a list of paranormal things from the streets of Bolton, as the Manchester Evening News calls it.
Nice.
Terrifying and unexplained tales of ghosts said to haunt the streets of Bolton.
Sure.
This one is called Men with Light Bulb Heads. This was a UFO encounter from 1926. It is said a local lad escaped one night from his house to play hide and seek with his friends. While searching for them, he saw three figures in gray rubber suits and fishbowl helmets in a backyard. They also possessed pallid faces like inversed pears.
What?
With slits for eyes and mouth. When they moved towards him, he ran home.
Wait, weren't they wearing helmets? Isn't that?
But he saw through the helmet.
Helmets. They were like classic,
Right. Okay, so we could see through. Right.
Mm-hmm. And when he ran towards him, or when they moved towards him, he ran home. And that's why you don't escape, Jimmy.
It's so funny that they use the word escape. One night, a young boy slipped free of his bed chains.
This one is The Smell of Smoke. Oh, and that one happened Bolton, alleyway in town, exact location unknown.
Wow, cool. Now, wait, what are the odds that this is a kid getting caught escaping from his bed chains? And he was like, I saw aliens. They did it.
I like it. That's what I'm going to start telling people when they ask me.
That's what I tell people all the time. Every time my girlfriend's like, where have you been all night? Aliens, going to sleep.
It's been a Dickensian story from 1950s alien-infested London.
Yeah.
So we now have a haunting manifestation that is happening on Bolton, Belmont Road. This is Bolton, sorry, on Belmont Road in Bolton. The shadow mistakenly hanged for... That sentence is insane. Yeah. So this is about a noosed highwayman. And supposedly on this road...
A noosed highwayman?
Yes, a robber, they call him here in America.
Okay.
Good Lord.
The shadow mistakenly supposedly mistakenly seen as a highway robber is seen dangling in the wind on this road with a noose, and then sometimes walking with a noose around his neck when he appears.
Ooh, yikes. That's a good look for a ghost.
Horrifying.
Another report says that on the road, there's also a ghost car crash from the mid 20th century, which killed a family. You hear the screech of brakes followed by screams, but you can't see it.
That's somehow more horrifying.
Do you want to know
like
what?
You just hear it?
You just hear it. You hear the screams, and you see nothing. That happens on Belmont Road. Enjoy your hanged nooseman or highwayman out there.
I mean, I would think that I was going insane.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's a real classic ghost too.
Now, Bolton is also home to the very famous Boar's Head Public House, and you know what's there? The Roman soldiers.
Oh, right. They're like 2 feet below the surface.
Yes, they were seen, well, a little bit more, actually. So there's Roman soldiers who are seen marching in the basement of the building, but they are seen up to the chest, like marching through the dirt where the dirt's up to their chest.
So they have to do even more work. Well,
Archaeologists have discovered
up for.
Archaeologists have discovered medieval artifacts, including a different cellar, before the site was eventually concreted over and turned into a parking lot. I made all that up. I don't know if it's a parking lot, but the site has been concreted over. In Bradshawgate, there is the haunting manifestation that started in 1987 of a teenager who worked for a nearby garage watched a mist as it formed into a human-like shape at the top of a set of steps. The teenager was shocked when later shown a picture of Minnie Stott, a young woman murdered in Bolton in November 1940.
It was her.
It was her.
It was her. They found her.
And then I will give everyone a chance to decide the last one. I got Tucker Inn. I have Vita Swift. I have Granny. And I have Smartly Dressed Male.
I want to hear about Granny.
All right. That is the correct choice. Yeah. This happens in Moss Bank Cottage, Smithles.
Okay.
Type, unknown ghost type. Date, it started in the early 20th century. Huh? It reads, even though she had never seen her grandmother, a young girl described the ghostly figure of an aging woman that stood over her bed to her aunt, who then identified the figure as the girl's grandmother dying many years earlier.
Wow.
This cottage is also said to be haunted by another old woman who just sits in the living room wearing a red shawl.
Terrifying.
The Moss Bank Cottage.
Why did they let that keep happening?
This house takes old women, keeps it for itself.
Yikes.
Once you reach the age of 65, get out of the building.
The house that wouldn't give Granny back.
But that's my 2 segments for this episode.
And I think that's going to be the end of the episode, right?
I think so. I don't have anything else.
That is the end of this week's episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for continuing to tune in week after week. Thank you for telling your friends. Thank you for giving us 5 stars wherever 5 stars can be given. If you really liked what we did here today, you can come join us on Twitch on Mondays, twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. You can follow us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can go to werewolfradar.com and see some stuff there. You can, if you really, really like what we did here, you can go to patreon.com/werewolfradar and you can become a Patreon member. You could support us financially and you get access to the Grave Nugget, which is an extra episode every week. You can come hang out in the room with us while we record, much like Cheesebot and Janet Bravo had done today. Shout out. And shout out to the rest of y'all who couldn't make it. You're still the best, and we love your support. Also, shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro theme. Come howl with us, it begs. And I think that does it. Until next time, y'all are the best. Our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch
the sky.
Spaceman
Joe.